رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello viewers, especially to Miss Shahida binti Abdul Razak. I hope you guys doing well and have a blessed day, blessed Ramadan. This time, with my group, we will present about characteristic of plural society from Islamic perspective. Before we start, let me explain you about plural society. Plural society can define as several group race living in one area as one community. Like example, I can give you. Malaysia, we have India, Chinese, Indian live together. Kuala Lumpur. In America, we have black people and white people. Okay, now let's move to Islamic perspective about plural society. To discuss of plural society of Islamic perspective, we will use three sources, which is Al-Quran, Hadith and Islamic figure. According to Al-Quran, Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 13. O mankind, we have created you male and female, and we have made you nations and tribes, so that you may know and mingle with each other. Surely the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous among you. Allah is truly all-knowing, all-aware. So according to Fatih, this verse tell us that human diversity, which is why people have a different culture, different race, because Islam want us to cooperation, interaction and complementary rather to discrimination or conflict or war to each other. Islam also tell us that all human beings, which mean Malay, India, Chinese, Russia, America, all human beings are same, even though we have different physical and different culture, because in the sight of Allah we all same as servant. Next, we move to hadith. According to the hadith narrated by Imam Ahmad, indeed shaitan, the devil, to a man like a wolf is a god. It will attack the stray and lonely god. Keep yourself from divided, be together with the congregation, the people and the mosque. The description given by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the hadith is same like skewer batang. Skewer is easy to break, but if we hold a bundle of skewer, it will difficult to break. Like pen, when we have one pen, we can easily to break, but if we have 100 pen, it's difficult to break. So we have to be together, because the statement of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that if we are alone, we easily to get fall to the enemy. But if we united, it's difficult to enemy want to attack us. Now we move to Islamic figure. So in Islamic figure, I'm choose Yusuf. So according to Yusuf, Islam always encourage their follower, mean Muslim, to create relationship between non-Muslim. To build the relationship which non-Muslim, Islam very focused to the nature of tolerance, charity and justice that never be found by history of humanity before Islam. Muslims are required to do good deeds and justice to all human beings, as they do not oppose Islam or fight with Islam.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kalish Fariha Melati and my part is Moderate Islam Wasatiyah. Okay, Moderate Islam Wasatiyah introduced by Malaysian Prime Minister, which is Muhammad Najib bin Tun Abdul Razak in September 2010. Moderate Islam Wasatiyah here refers to moderation, balance or the middle path approach. The purpose of moderate Islam is to balance a matter in terms of thinking or behavior so as not to be excessive or extreme. And lastly, Muhammad Najib bin Abdul Razak used Wasatiyah concept as the support for the One Malaysia concept, which is aims to unify the multi-ethnic people in Malaysia. The applications of moderate Islam Wasatiyah in Malaysia. The effort to support and explain to the people of how moderate Islam Wasatiyah is applied in Malaysia is it consists of dialogue, seminars and conference. The Wasatiyah Institute was established at national level on 17 January 2012 under the Prime Minister Department in Kuala Lumpur. The role of this institute is to focus on the moderations and balance aspect through respect for democracy, rules and regulations of laws, education, personal dignity, and social justice. The second effort is national seminars on understanding wasatiyah in One Malaysia. The national seminars on understanding moderate Islam wasatiyah in One Malaysia, launched by Muhammad Najib Tun Abdul Razak on 26 November 2011. The third effort is Global Movement of Moderates GMM Foundation. Global Movement of Moderates GMM. The function of the foundation is to be a middle attraction which start unifications and disposal also movement materials to all parties who wish to take part in endeavors against fanaticism, or we call it extremists, including governmental bodies and non-governmental bodies. Lastly, the last effort is International Conference on Global Movement of Moderates ICGMM. International Conference on Global Movement of Moderates ICGMM is on the 17th January to 19 January 2012 at the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre, organized by Alumni Society of International Islamic University of Malaysia (IIUM), with the goal of leading the world towards moderation for universal interest. The participation was more than 350 delegations from more than 70 countries. So that's all from my part, and thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aina Najwa binti Nur Azmi. Okay, today I will present about the next characteristic of plural society from the Islamic perspective. The next characteristic is civilizational Islam, that known as Islam Hadari. Okay, Datuk Seri Abdullah Ahmad Badawi is the founder of Islam Hadari, and the vision of the Islam Hadari is for the Malaysian growth. Okay, Islam Hadari is very important in social, economic, and politics in Malaysia. This is because to well balance the development strategy. Okay, Islam Hadari is for recognition for Islamic State and development strategy from secular paradigm to Tawhid paradigm, which is Islam Hadari is more concerned about the Islamic behavior in every aspect. So the objective of Islam Hadari is to uniting various groups from the various cultures and races to harmony. Okay, there are a few applications of plural society that happen in Malaysia. Okay, number one is to build open the tolerance. Okay, tolerance in society based on the peace, harmony, and cooperation that happen in among various cultural and belief. Okay, tolerance is about when we are respecting and understand each other cultural and tradition. Okay, for example, in Malaysia we have many cultures and races such as Malay, Indian, and Chinese. Okay, the next application of plural society that happen in Malaysia is humanitarian attitude. Okay, humanitarian attitude is about the we are trying to not causing other people suffer, but we are assist them. Okay, for example, government in Malaysia very taking care about their citizens. So the government will take action based on the victims' views. And other than that, NGO also doing a program and charity to raise funds to help other people too. Okay, the next point is respect the diversity that exists in Malaysia and accept Malaysia as Islamic country. Okay, Islam is declared as the federation religion in Malaysia, and who disobey the ruler will face a fines and imprisonment. So the important component in the principle good behavior is we are not mocking each other and respect each other religion, even though Islam is the head of the religion in the Malaysia. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you to the previous presenter. Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatin Umairah binti Abdullah, and now I will talk about the characteristic of plural society under conservative Islam. According to Adam Zidane, Islamism is defined as an ideology that seeks the implementation of an Islamic social, economic, and also political system. The formation of an Islamic state is the ultimate objective of Islamists. Islamic groups are focused to the change of Muslim society by focusing to the increase of personal good manner and largely focus on programs which aims to increase the role of Islam in social. As for conservative Islam, it started as early as 1980s when a new trend of Islamic revivalism was observed. One of Malaysia's state, which is Kelantan, is governed by Pan-Malaysian Islamic Party, which is known as PAS, as a party that upholds Islam with the unity of religious scholars in Malaysia, and is also a conservative Islamic political party with the declared aim of establishing Islamic state. Islam's attitudes towards religious plurality is embodied by Ruh al-Samahah, which means the spirit of tolerance, sincere and virtuous. Next point is, it acknowledges not only the right of others to profess their religion of choice, but also the freedom to practice and to observe their rituals and beliefs. For example, since Jews were forbidden to work on Saturdays, they could not be forced. Christians should not be prevented from going to church on Sundays. Let's move to the next point, which is Muslims should never obstruct non-Muslims from doing things permitted by their religion, even though they may be forbidden in Islam. For example, in Islam, it is forbidden to worship idols, but it is also an offense to prevent other religions from worshipping their gods. Another example, others may consume pork and drink alcohol with a friendly precautionary note that they do so without provocativeness and not upset the sensitiveness of their Muslim friends. Lastly, what is important is that there is an openness and a readiness for mutual understanding of each other's sensitiveness and that there is no compulsion. And I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, let's move to the next slide, which is the application of conservative Islam. There are a few applications of conservative Islam, which is, firstly, is the transmission of Islam in the Malay-Indonesian world, remaining parts dark in history as one of the premier instances of serene proselytization of religion on a trans-mainland scale. So fruitful was the ceaseless interaction from around the 13th to the 16th century that the Islamic confidence turned out to be easily implanted as a conclusive measure aside from the Malay language, which is the Bahasa Melayu, and rulership of Malayness regarding the general classification of Southeast Asia's native populace who were already disciples of animism and variations of Hindu-Buddhist strict custom pervasive in the archipelago. We move to the next point, which is next. With its colourful provenance as the setting, Islam as perceived and polished by Malay Muslim preceding the time of the country state never bore solid attributes. Despite what is generally expected, convenience of morphed from an assortment of civilizational customs won as emphatically reflected in the combination of strict works on getting from different ethno-social practices that is in the long run accepted the name of being imported for Malay Muslim legacy. Next, going with autonomy from Britain on 31st August 1957 was the introduction of a federal constitution which introduced Islam as the state religion. The constitution was apparently a mixture record, which was nothing exceptional considering the new country states mixed the wellsprings of public history. Besides that, numerous examiners have advanced contentions that it had mainstream aim, and however, yet it appeared to hoist the religion of most of the populace to a platform inaccessible by different religions. In overseeing Islam as a segment of public life, nonetheless, strict virtue was made compliant to political convenience, associated somehow to the political fortunes of the United Malay National Organization, which known as UMNO, which has constantly managed the country along with its non-Malay segment accomplished in the multiracial Perikatan and also the Barisan Nasional. The public destiny of Islam was, along these lines, laid in the possession of progressive Prime Minister and UMNO pioneers who turned to the bureaucratization of Islam to help them. And I think that's all from me. Thank you.
The characteristic of plural society from the Islamic perspective is people can be freely practice their religion and belief in Islamic country. Every person has the right to profess and practice his religion and subject to propagate it. Every religious group has the right to establish and maintain institutions for the education of children in its own religion, and there shall be no discrimination on the ground only of religion in any law relating to such institution or in the administration. If we look to the definition of the plural society is the people who is practice more the different religion in certain country. From that, we can look that Islam is practiced peaceful in the country. Islam did not care if the people practice the different religion and believe it. It is because in Islam we not force the people who is different religion to embrace Islam. So this is shown that Islam accept the plural society and also the variety of Islam, the variety of religion. There is not the same like other country. They have a certain country that have accept plural society and certain do not accept plural society in their country or religion. So we can look in Malaysia also is the example of the Islamic country that will implement the plural society in their country. This is shown that many others of Islamic country that do the same thing like Malaysia. In addition, Islamic country like Malaysia, non-Muslim are also given attention by the government and they are not marginalized.
So, as conclusion, pluralism is about different culture and races, ethnicities sit together in one room, but they still have freedom to perform their culture and religion. In Malaysia, government give the permission to non-Muslim to build up their place worship. In political point of view, non-Muslim and Muslim, even Malay, India, Chinese, they all can be candidate to running the election in PRU. Other than that, even Malays get the benefit from enshrined in the constitution. That benefit is not from the confiscation of property of non-Malays. Instead, the government get the money from the economy activities to give to Bumiputra, not steal property non-Bumiputra, because in Islam, if you get money from false way like usury, gambling, cheating, extortion, confiscation, it is haram, forbidden in Islam. So last word from me before we finish our presentation. I would like to take word from Muhammad Kamal Hassan. Although the government has introduced various Islamization policies such as the policy of the application of Islamic views, this policy has never sidelines the interests and the sensitivities of non-Malay in Malaysia. This is the beauty of equality in Islam. That's all from us. Sorry if we have speak which wrong words. Please forgive us. That's all from our group. Thank you.